Every great brand is running a dinner party. Hear me out. Most dinner parties, just like a dinner party, there's an invitation, a clear idea, there's a guest list, an intentional path for a stranger to move from I just heard of this to I trust this. Obviously, there's a menu, some yummy food, but there's a start. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. And then there's the pour, the moment where trust steps into action, the move most people never notice. The brands we remember, the ones that build real following, real loyalty, real revenue, aren't the ones with the biggest budgets. They are the ones who figured out how to set a table worth sitting at and then kept the invitation open. I call this is my trademark, the dinner table method. And it's the framework I use to break down how a brand builds strategy. Not for their entire lifetime, but for a season, a launch, a scale, a moment where everything has to work together. So, this segment is called the brand hot seat. I'm introducing this concept for new founders or founders who are building or they are in a season of their business that they really want to go deep within their brand. And the question I'm always trying to answer is the same: is your table ready? Today, we have a very special guest, our first guest for this segment. Her name is Neha. She is the founder of Ella Eternal Jewels. The guest today that we have, she's built her brand in one of the most traditional gate kept categories in retail, fine jewelry. She's a third generation jeweler. Her family has been in this craft for over 70 years. She knows this world from the inside. And that's why we want to get into her world. And now we are going to rewrite who gets to sit on this table. That's the whole idea of having this. So, welcome, Neha. I'm so excited you're here. Thank you for being the first guest for this concept. So let's dive in. All right, everyone. Now that you know who Neha is, I really want to start this episode with something that I've been working on, and I'm so excited to share it because before you get into your brand or the business that you're creating, I want to give everyone, including Neha here, a lens for this conversation. Okay.
Okay.
Because what I'm about to do isn't a review. I cannot review your brand. I can only do a little bit of a breakdown from the brand perspective, and I use a framework to do it. Now, this is something that I've created. It's called the dinner party method. Okay. This is the analogy that we will be using in this episode to take you through as to how Neha's beautiful brand Ella is going to be kind of revealed through this process. And we'll have Neha on the hot seat to tell us where she is bubbling up with all of these beautiful ideas and how do we go from there. The idea is very simple. I feel every great brand in any season of business, whether it's starting, it's launching, it's scaling, whichever season it is, you can look at that phase like you're basically throwing a dinner party. Okay? And like
Okay.
any dinner party, there are very specific things that have to happen, right? In the right order for it to work. So Neha is basically the one who's throwing this party. She has started Ella as the brand that she has brought to life. So Neha has made the party theme. She's decided to host this party. So what are the things that we need for a party? We need an invitation. We need to send out invitations. We need a guest list. We need a menu. All of these things, right? And the reason I choose dinner party is like because it's such a common denominator experience for everyone. Like it's something that we all have done, whether male or female, at some point of time, of throwing a party to someone. So the
Yeah.
analogy is for you to follow this structure because we do it any which way in our life when we're throwing a party, so that these things kind of stick with you in whichever season of business you're in. So, just to give
Okay.
you an example, obviously, the guest list is basically the target audience that you are talking to, right? Like it's very
Mm-hmm.
intentional. And the audience also understands, yes, this is the party I want to go to, right? Like I know that there's something about this party that I want to go for. Then there's
Mm-hmm.
the invite, right? And in the brand concept, it's called one controlling idea. Like for example, when you throw a party, it's like it's a baby shower or it's a like a bridal party. That one
Mm-hmm.
controlling idea decides who is coming to that party. Exactly, right?
Okay.
Like if it's a
Yeah.
bridal party, you're not going to have it. There's going to be the bridesmaid. So
Yeah.
that one controlling idea, that invitation for your brand is super important. And obviously that there's the menu and there's the menu is basically your product, the one that you've cooked up, the
Mm-hmm.
which you, Neha, specifically have done so beautifully. I went through everything you shared with me, and I think you are a great chef. You are somebody who's really who's really thought about the menu so clearly as to what needs to be served, who is it for. You've taken care into putting those thoughts together. So I really, really applaud you for doing that.
Oh,
There's
thank you.
also something called the pour. The pour is the moment where the trust tips into action, right? It's like the conversation at the party is now not just superficial, is now the party's got really interesting, right?
Okay.
That
Yeah.
the conversation move most people, uh, but there are very few that who gonna get very clued into, right? There's always in the party there is a block of people who are really having the most fun, and then
Mm-hmm.
everybody around is just kind of like watching, or like looking at them. So this is where the pour is happening, this is where the real whiskey is getting served, or the repeats are happening. And at the
Okay.
end, there's also a story that everyone retells. Oh, you know what happened at Neha's party? This happened, and then there was this group. So there is an element which gets retold after the party is over, which happens to all of us. We go back home and we take something from the party that remains with us. Which also,
Mm.
once the next time Neha throws a party, I'm definitely going. Or in other cases, like, oh my god, that is not the kind of party I want to go for. That's the
Yeah.
kind of match we definitely want to avoid in the future. So,
Mm-hmm.
Neha, based on everything you told me
Yeah.
on the form that we had, now this gets very interesting. I feel that you are a great, great chef. You've really understood the idea of what it is, what Ella is, who is it for, where does it come from, what's your history of building this jewelry brand. You come from a family of jewelers yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now Ella as a brand needs to send out the invitation. That's something I feel is is where we are going to lead today with, okay? So
Okay.
I think the invitation, again, if I had to explain it to you, is, and whoever is listening, is that one central controlling idea, right? Like before anyone arrives,
Mm-hmm.
the host has decided the vibe, right? So I want to ask you, what is the single idea Ella exists to own? For example, if social media disappear tomorrow, or for example, even Ella Eternal Jewels disappear tomorrow, what
Mm-hmm.
idea would the jewelry market, the jewelry world lose? Not the product, the idea. Do you have any
Mm-hmm.
thoughts around that?
Um, yeah, I think I've built Ella basically to immerse itself into Ella's customers' everyday life, everyday actual life, right? Like fine jewelry hasn't been able to do that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for this invitation that I would be sending to my audience, that's what I want them to take away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for this special occasion, this milestone, this very exclusive party. This is a
Mm-hmm.
party that happens every Thursday in the evening after work, right? Part of your life. And that's what I want. If Ella goes away, I want people to feel that missing, right? Like something that we had immersed into our everyday life. We'd found a
Mm-hmm.
place for it. Now it's just gone, and that's the feeling I want Ella to create.
Okay, so the central invitation that you're sending out to your guest is that Ella is your everyday jewelry. It's not for special occasions only. It's like, you wear it to work every day. You are even wearing it like maybe you're going for a tea a neighbor's house, and
Mm-hmm.
you both are gushing over Ella's, oh my God, those are beautiful earrings. That kind of,
Yeah.
it's no more, because I think you're right. The jewelry world has told us that jewelry is for special occasions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's only meant to be worn. Good jewelry is only meant, especially fine jewelry, is only meant to be worn for special occasions. On a daily basis, you wear whatever silver or something that which is not expensive, because
Yeah.
this central idea, I think, is so important for you,
Mm-hmm.
and is such a appealing idea for your base, because this is contrarian, right? This is a contrarian thinking pattern. And anytime that you want to have a party where the invite itself is so interesting,
Hmm.
your curiosity, your top of funnel starts growing bigger and bigger, because you're talking about something which is so I mean, it's breaking a pattern, right? And today, with this chaotic social media world and marketing world that we live in, anything that breaks the
Hmm.
pattern is something that people stop the scroll and tell me more, tell me more.
Yeah.
What do you mean everyday jewelry? I can wear
Hmm.
everyday jewelry, everyday fine jewelry. It's like a permission. You're giving your audience permission to wear it every day. So I think that controlling idea is beautiful. Let's build on that a little further.
Hmm.
Okay, Neha. So, if you were yourself at a party and somebody says, "Hey, what Ella is?" Like, if you were to describe it in 5 words, like one sentence,
Okay.
I'm putting it the spot, but like, I just want your natural, your sense of this to come out and say, "Oh, this is Ella."
Yeah, I think Ella is craft-based jewelry that comes out of the box and into your life.
Ooh, that is beautiful. I love that.
I mean, part of that is something I've been working on for a while, but
Yeah.
the nuance that you added, I think I had to spar in the moment. But I think that's the idea overall.
That's the idea. Yeah, exactly. I want this spark that you have about your product. That's why I didn't want to over prepare you, because
Yeah.
it's this if you were to talk about anything in the moment, that is your truest feeling about it. And I love that you connecting your dots so well, because you're talking about everyday jewelry, and then even as you're positioning it, what you just said is basically positioning. Ella
Hmm.
is your jewelry which comes from the box into your life, right? It's not
Hmm.
from box to another box. It's not my box to safe box or the
Hmm.
cupboard box. It comes to my
Exactly.
life, my everyday life. So I think that's
Yes.
really beautiful. And as you are going and moving with your positioning, the more you dig deeper into it, I think the more you will find some gold over there, find jewelry over there,
Pun intended.
content gold.
I love it. Yes.
Right. So I think this central idea of this everyday jewelry is beautiful. So when now we're going to the get towards the guest list, right? Like, we are looking at audiences, we are looking at what's the path, the trust path to reach these audiences, right? Because
Hmm.
again, for this, you don't want to, at a party, we don't want to invite everyone at once, right?
Yeah.
Like, who gets the first seat and how do they find it? Like, if because I see what you've shared with me, and Ella is pretty much post launch, and now it's like kind of you yourself mentioned that there is struggle between conviction and effort, time
Hmm.
management. All the things that you said are so true with any founder who is in the phase that you are.
Yeah.
So to reduce the overwhelm of, like, how do I keep my top funnel floating, I think
Hmm.
more important question is like, who are the first people you want on the table, right? Who's the very first person you picture when you imagine your ideal Ella customer? Not a demographic, a real human. Like, look at your life right now, uh,
Hmm.
in the last 1 month. Tell me, you think of a girl you met and you're like, she is my Ella customer. Let's go.
Hmm.
Let's talk about her. And what does her
Yeah. I
read
mean,
like? What's the, like, who is she?
this is really relatively easy for me because I was that person. I think
Okay.
Ella's customer is someone like you've established a life for yourself, you've built a life, you have financial independence, and you spend your time and your money buying jewelry, and then it doesn't last. And
Hmm.
that pain that you feel when it doesn't last is where I was. And I think where a lot of women are, it's not
Okay.
just about money. We spend very intentional time. The women I know and the women that I meet, we are very intentional with our purchases. We do research, we understand the terms before we pull the trigger.
Yes.
And even after all of that, if something fails you, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's really frustrating. And like me myself, I came from the background of jewelry. Like my family's been doing this for 70 years,
Yeah.
and yet I've faced this issue, right? Like I faced the issue of like, well, I spent good money on this, so
Yeah.
this should last, right? Like this time it will last, and it still
Mm.
doesn't.
Okay.
And that's what I feel like a lot of women are facing, and they're like, obviously no one's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I felt like, okay, Ella needs a place, and Ella needs to help these people who I was as well.
Right.
And her life is like, she's built a life that she wants, and she wants to be
Mm-hmm.
able to immerse something that embodies her personality into her everyday life.
Right.
So I think, yeah, if Ella can do that, I think it would be like the dream for me.
So basically, what you're saying is that you're the people, the first people who actually will take notice or you want them on the table are people who are passionate about this piece of investment that they've done for themselves. And the reason they are not able to sustain that investment is that the myth or the reality that these pieces don't last if used daily, hence they go in the jewelry box or somewhere because that's how I save it because it's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
last. So you're
Mm-hmm.
breaking with your product. That's the product quality that you're coming up with, which is basically breaking that idea that fine jewelry cannot sustain daily wear, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the product's USP.
Yeah.
And that's amazing because I think if even if as there's the first customers who will make notice of this is are the people who are actually like what you said, so passionate about their jewelry, but there is another layer of people who have not even considered the idea of it, of wearing jewelry every day, because this is not it's an it's not believable, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that's not believable that jewelry can sustain everyday life. So
Yeah.
this is amazing that you are bringing that to your customers, and those customers are coming to you as well, saying that yes, I love the idea that Ella gives me an everyday life access. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So right now, how does a stranger go from I just heard of Ella to I trust this brand? Like, walk me through the actual steps. Like, it's almost like saying that the guest got the invite, but they're like feeling I don't know if I'm gonna be comfortable here. If I don't know, I know other people, and what it actually means is like the trust part of it, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
invited, but can I trust this brand? What it's saying?
Yeah. And I think that's a really hard part for fine jewelry, right? Like you're making an
Yeah.
investment, and it's a considered purchase, and you want your customer to feel that trust. Part
Mm-hmm.
of it is, yes, I have this background of my family having done this for a really long time, and I try to bring that craft up front. But part of that is, the other part of it is putting my face on it, right? Like the my main way to talk to my audience is through Instagram right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm putting my face on that, talking about
Yeah.
the story behind Ella, talking about how the information that I've absorbed, or the knowledge that I've absorbed throughout my life, has influenced the collection, and how the decisions were made behind every piece. The decisions were
Mm-hmm.
made behind the values of the brand, and talking about that repeatedly, and that's the part that is in progress, is like talking
Yeah.
about it repeatedly, repeating the message, being consistent, and being a place where people can come back months later, years later, and still see the face,
Mm-hmm.
and know that, okay, she's not going anywhere. She's still talking about that brand that she's really passionate about.
Yeah.
So, and then that makes them feel like, okay, yeah, I do think there's something here. I do think she knows what she's talking about, hopefully. And let's go to that party.
Yeah. So I had a thought on this, and I saw that you mentioned about the struggle between, like, you're also the creator and you're also the spokesperson, and this person, the founder, belief system that you must display because this is a high investment product, and without your face, the product becomes like, not suspicious, but it's like, how do I trust it, right? Your face is such a big trust factor. So I want to ask you that you've built an Instagram account, right? Like that's your primary, is that your primary trust channel?
Right now, yes.
Yes. So I want to know why that decision, and what's the moment you are waiting for to believe that that is your primary channel. Is there something that is leading you to believe that this is my primary channel, or is it because that's the access that you have right now and that's what you think is the best place for Ella?
Let me think about this.
Because okay, let me give you an example, right? So there are two kind of founders on Instagram. There are
Mm-hmm.
founders who are talking about overall belief systems, right? Like they're trying to make a change in the world through small acts. Like in fact yourself, right? You're saying that the contrarian controlling idea is that jewelry is for everyday life. But
Mm-hmm.
based on where you are with your journey right now, the as a business owner, the fact that you can show it to people, like rather than talk about it, like I can show it to you that where this jewelry was made, like that kind of content to show people, um, for Instagram specifically, because if you think that is your primary place for it to be, uh, to create that belief system for you, then
Mm-hmm.
then definitely yes, because people believe what they see before they hear, right? Like they
Mm-hmm.
really want to. Your tone is perfect, your tone is exactly what it's needed. So if the overwhelm of content creation is something that you are struggling with right now, you are already doing so much. You are packing orders, you are, like maybe sitting and designing. So in all of this, if you were to capture all of this, the actual thing with Ella, which is your creation of the jewelry, like what how does it happen? I don't know where is your production happening. I think it's happening in India, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But wherever it's happening, if there's somebody there that can like kind of take some pictures or photographs of how it is being built at this point of time too, I think that's something that you're anyways doing every day. To not have to craft out extra time to create founder led content, like you are doing so much things which bring in trust. And Instagram is such a visual platform that that is something that you are sitting on content, which is all about your creation, packaging, putting down orders, how what goes into Neha's mind when she's designing a jewelry. Like even if I recently saw you shared a lot of stuff about Met Gala, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing, right? Like as a jewelry designer, I love that content because more than hearing from you about something which is in that same space
Yeah.
is because we are all trying to break the pattern because it's too this the top of funnel is too big, and
Mm-hmm.
who's getting attention, it's hard to say. But since
Yeah.
Instagram is the only place, and I don't know if you are also thinking of other platforms right now, but if that is a trust channel that you have and content is a roadblock for you, then for I think the content you're sitting on, which is creation of your actual product, is a great place for you to show people how you're working, how you are creating this brand, because you are almost near launch plus uh, uh, launch and scaling, you somewhere in the middle right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is a place where I want to like most people, specifically who are investing in jewelry, they want to
Mm-hmm.
see how this is being done. So that is something that you can think of if you are looking at these women who look so specifically with so much detail as to what they are buying, who they are buying from. Like they want to know more. So
Yeah.
this is something that you can think of if Instagram is your first trust channel. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, I think I agree with a lot of show rather than tell. I think
Yeah.
that's overall what you're saying, right? Like show what you're
Yes.
talking about rather than tell them. And while like I do want to take that approach, and the Met Gala, like you said, is an example of that I'm trying and I'm
Yeah.
expanding on, is like there's a lot of thought and decision that went into how Ella is shaped, right? Like you can be like every other brand, or you can be like a specific brand. And becoming this specific brand had a lot of decisions behind it. And I wouldn't say I am like, it's not a lack of knowing what to knowing what to post or
Yeah,
what to talk
it's
about.
time.
That's
It's
it's time,
time.
exactly,
It's
right?
time.
Like being
Exactly.
able to wear all these different hats and
Exactly.
then also wear the hat of social media. um, that takes time, and I'm trying to scale back like all the fluff. Like initially when I started, like I wanted it to be beautiful and perfect, and like, jewelry has an aesthetic, and all of those things were important. And if someone has followed me since I started the account, they've seen the trajectory from like super refined to like now I'm just like, the brand is supposed to be part of your everyday. And
Yeah.
so
What's
I'm
your
trying to talk
everyday?
about, yeah, like I'm trying to talk about like be show up in my everyday. And that's a matter of like building that infrastructure, and something I'm working on. But I think even something that you always talk about is the story, right? Like that's the part I really wanted to have crisp and clear. Something I can talk to even when I meet people like all the time. Like word of mouth is another really big part of
Exactly.
Ella's existence. And so um, I wanted to have that message very clear. And that's what I have, that's the internal work. After
Yeah.
creating the product itself, that's the internal work that I've been doing. Now I think the messaging, like the external messaging will come. And I'm trying not to force it. I'm trying not to rush it. It will take its time. And I
Oh,
think
yes. Oh,
the
100%.
stability, the stability is
It's
what I am trusting and moving forward with.
no, 100%. And the thing is that what's beautiful about this is that most founders go through this place of their business where they are wearing many hats, right? And I always like to use this idea that if there was, for example, an imaginary outsourced person that you could give away something with, something to, and if
Hmm.
you already know what that answer is, right? That who, what will I give away as my outsource to this imaginary person, then
Hmm.
you know where your energy actually wants to go, right? Like you know where your energy, and from what I see, the way you are so passionate about creating these pieces of jewelry, and there's so much intention going, that's your real passion sitting over there, right?
Hmm.
uh, I'm not, tell me if I'm wrong, that if you were to outsource this and give away, you would give away social media to someone else so you can just do this, right?
Right now, I wouldn't trust anyone to get the story
Yes.
right. That's why it's hard. Like I don't
Yeah.
think I'm even in a place where I would hand this off to somebody, because I, the story is like, it's the messaging is very um, personal to me, and
Hmm.
it's very um, yeah, I don't think I can
Yeah, you
hand it
can't
off to
let go
someone.
of
And
it.
yeah, I can't let go of it right now. So I think both of the creation of it is definitely the passion that started it all.
Yeah.
But being able to talk about it is definitely something that I'm coming into in
Mm-hmm.
this journey as a founder.
Yeah.
And if the passion is like you said, like if the passion's coming across, I think I'm getting to a good point of that as
Good
well.
point. Yes, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And
so
I
I'm,
think
yeah.
that's a great place for you where you're finding that balance even in your the way you are creating this party for your guest, where you are right now creating that vibe for your guests, right? Like so that they come to it, so that your audiences come to you rather than you having to go to them. And that's what we want. We want to send out an invite. We want people to come. So if I had to flip this for you and say, who is Ella not for? Like, who should not be coming to this party? Like, is there anything that you have because that's what most founders struggle with. They're talking to everyone, and when you're talking
Yeah.
to everyone, you're for no one almost. So
Yeah.
if is there something in your mind, who Ella is not for?
I think if you haven't figured out yet what jewelry you like,
Mm-hmm.
you are trying to blend in, you want to be part of, like, fit in with the everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't found your like style, your passion, your not just about like the how the jewelry looks, right? Like, but also a perspective of what are the values behind the jewelry that I want to like. If because you might buy jewelry that looks special, but if it doesn't last,
Hmm.
then you haven't figured out yet that the jewelry doesn't last. So unless you figured that out, that like fast fashion jewelry
Mm-hmm.
doesn't last, even though
Right.
it embodies your personality, you might not understand what Ella is for.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you realize that trends phase out,
Yeah.
and like your time and money is worth something, and your jewelry is an embodiment of you. I think that's when it's the right time to come to Ella.
Oh, so you're it's again for the refined woman. A woman who's already like, she is not in a phase where she still has to think 100 times before she spends, or then rather not spend and then buy something which is just kind of like fake it till you make it situation. You're basically saying that in this everyday jewelry idea, it's for the refined woman who knows what she's buying, who knows. So this idea of the refined woman is, I think it's great. It's a great uh silhouette for you to kind of, cater your content around, because what do refined women like, right? Like what else in their world does make them because you're creating this world for this, as I said, the vibe for the party, right? So it's not just jewelry, jewelry, jewelry. It's also like, what does a refined woman truly enjoys? Like for
Hmm.
yourself, you can think about
Hmm.
yourself or your friend, somebody who you look up to in your regular life. Like what does she enjoy? And like that silhouette of that person is somebody who you're talking to, because those are the people you want to, for them to come to party. And the ones who are not those, they'll like just walk away, and like, you'll be like, thank god they walked away. They didn't come to my, like, I'm not, neither am I inviting, nor do I want them to come knocking at
You
my
are,
door.
I mean, I mean, I think every woman eventually gets there.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time. And I think when I'm right here when you find when you find that the time for that is right, like Ella will be right here for you.
And I also want to mention that while we're discussing this, and I know you mentioned Mehuri is that the right way to say it?
Mejuri, yeah.
Mejuri. Okay, Mejuri.
Yeah.
I also did a little research on them, and I love the fact that their controlling idea for this entire thing was that jewelry is always gifted to women by men, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was their narrative when they began, and that's such a great invitation to an audience, right? Like where this entire segment who can finance their own jewelry, but this
Mm-hmm.
idea to call it out, right? Like maybe
Yeah.
they're already buying it, but what happens with brands like these is that they bring up the conversation to a level which wasn't happening, wasn't being understood by many, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
so many women are obviously buying their own jewelry. I buy my own jewelry. But
Mm-hmm.
the idea that a brand comes up and says it, there's a halo effect that happens and more people come into your world. So the way
Mm-hmm.
you are talking about Ella of this everyday jewelry for the refined women is your core idea, but it will have a halo effect over a woman who was probably not even thinking about it, but like, oh wow, tell me more. Like, even
Yeah.
I thought jewelry was not for everyday life, right? That's what I've been told for years. We all are
Mm-hmm.
sitting with conventional ideas unless someone comes and tells us, oh, you can also do this. So
Yeah.
I think you are in a very great place with when it comes to your brand's understanding of who you're talking to. Now you just want to send that invite out, right? Now
Yeah.
you, as a party, you want to let women know that what is this party. So that invitation essentially means like, I don't know. I was just looking at this brand and I just spoke about it in my newsletter, the Drunken Elephant. It's a cosmetic, it's a skincare brand.
Mm-hmm.
And Drunken Elephant, apart from the fact that it got so popular because it spoke about the six suspicious elements in skincare that you must be, they were calling out the villains so clearly in their storytelling that was
Mm-hmm.
so effective for them, for these research warrior skincare ladies, right? Like these women, you're like, no silicone for me. This, when you call it out, you
Mm-hmm.
develop this. what do you call, you develop this loyalty, this cult like people, because when they can see in you that you are standing with something, they want to,
Mm-hmm.
be part of it. So
Yeah.
what they also do is, as a brand, and this is what I've been trying to do with the brands that I work with, is that when you have this kind of such a core messaging positioning, the way
Mm-hmm.
to take it, like serve it to people, because you don't want, you are a host to this party, right? As you want people to come into your world. So for example, Drunkle Elephant has something called as smoothies. Okay, and now when you think of a smoothie, you think, oh my gosh, are they like also making smoothies? But what it actually is like every I think every other month they would put together a few of their products and they would call it a smoothie. So basically, oh, it's monsoon. These are the four product smoothie. Use it to keep your skin hydrated for monsoon. So now
Okay.
this smoothie is like an invitation to the audience, right? This is not something that they have to sell it to you, but this is like, you know what, monsoon. So the invitation is very much trying to bring people in through different ways. So for
Mm-hmm.
Ella, those invitations of how they become part of Ella, right? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, jewelry making workshop. Like, this is just top. I'm not saying you have to do it, but I'm just saying that what is that invitation mean to people? What is it, that invitation, that it means to them, for them to come to your world? And it's not just the product, it's what the product means to them in their life. and
Mm-hmm.
and that invitation, they can understand it, they understand what you are trying to tell them. You're saying the everyday life. So is there a everyday thing that is something that the refined woman does, that can be your invitation, that you want to probably channel through your places? So that's something that I think I really want to leave you with,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of our conversation today. We have already surpassed 30 minutes. So I know I can go on and on and on, but I just want you to tell me that, do you think this is something that you can see as a momentum building, where you want your audience to interact with you, not just for jewelry, but the invitation is something they feel is like part of their life? Is there something bubbling up for you?
Yeah, I think, I mean, something that I have been thinking about is like curated experiences that
Hmm.
embody like Ella as well. Um, Small rooms,
Yeah.
like
Intentional.
low light vibes,
Yeah.
women talking, women chatting, laughter, and Ella in the
Yeah.
middle of all of that, where we can try on jewelry and put it on for each other, and like
Yeah.
a more sophisticated slumber party. I have been thinking about an experience like that I can curate for the women
Mm.
that would be
That's the
interested in
invitation.
Ella.
That's the invitation. And I'm also, like you're talking, I'm thinking tea parties. Like tea parties is such a, like, you have those cookies and macaroons, all kind of like,
Hmm.
done up so nicely. Like the entire
Yep.
idea of tea party for me is so personal yet sophisticated. Like I know there's just gonna be three or four people that I'm gonna be talking to, and we're gonna be
Hmm.
chit-chatting. But the entire tea party idea is again like an invitation to these women, right? Like, come, try the
Yeah.
jewelry, have some macaroons, like have a nice tea, coffee, whatever. So you're really amazingly on track with that. Like the whole slumber, like go for it, like plan it and just see how you are inviting women, what they're feeling with that, right? So
Yeah.
that's again the guest and the invitation that I wanted to focus on this episode, because I as I said, you are already a great chef, you're a great
Oh,
party
thank you
host.
so much.
You already know your product at the back of your hand. You know what the market needed. You're creating something. So all of these things are great founder qualities. Now it's the more you work on your guest and invitation, and the more you start doing those things, I think those are the things that you want to build while you are looking at Instagram and doing those things. Again, if Instagram is content heavy for you, the things that you do on an everyday life, B rolls are doing amazing on Instagram. So
Hmm.
like, just like everyday life, a quote on it, and boom, you're done. Like, if you think that is a bottleneck for you, because there's so many hats that you're wearing at this point of time.
No,
So I want
you've
to leave you
definitely
with
given
that.
me a lot to think about. So I mean, that's why I love these kind of conversations. And
Yes.
you've also like your idea of like the story behind everything, right? Like that being
Yeah.
important. I think
Yes.
like the way we met itself and like how you anchored on the story, that was like those are the moments where like light bulbs were always going off, that that's the part that needs to resonate. And without that, like having a great product, and I was listening to some of your other episodes as well, like having a great product isn't enough, even though that is the foundation of everything. It's
Yeah.
not going to be enough anymore. And so I'm learning that those skills as
Amazing.
well. And so it's great to be surrounded by women like you yourself. Thanks for
Oh my
having me on
gosh.
the podcast. And
Of course. Thank you so much for doing this with me. This is the first of many because I am surrounded with such beautiful product-based business owners, and I want to like sit and
Mhm.
have this chat with them. Like, what are they thinking? What are they bubbling up with? And where does brand? And I want to use this analogy of the dinner parties because it'll kind of stick somewhere in your head, right? Like, oh yeah, we're talking about, because if I just tell you target audience, pain point, it just, this conversation is like, now people are like, oh, yeah, I know I need to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else are you telling me? So I want this
Yeah.
analogy to stick, that you are the host, you have a great party, you are a great chef, you've figured everything out. Now the guests and invites need to know what Neha is cooking. Let's end on that. What is Neha cooking?
Yeah, so I mean, I think trying to talk more about how the knowledge behind what built Ella has
Hmm.
fit into my collection. I'm doing a lot more of that on my Instagram account, which is
Yes.
Neha underscore the fine jeweler. So
Yes.
if what I talked about here resonates with anyone and they want to come
Exactly.
continue the conversation on Instagram, that would be great. And I think there's so much like more to come. I think Ella is here. Like my goal is to make Ella stay,
Yes.
like I want us to sustain and persevere, and more than anything else, and find the woman that I talked about. If Ella knows about she knows about Ella, that
Yes.
would be really great. So
Icing on the cake.
um, icing on the cake, exactly. So I hope this was helpful to your audience and listeners as well. I'm
Of course it
excited.
is. I have so many female founders who are listening to this right now, and I know they will resonate with you and your journey so much, because so many of them are in this phase of where they're wearing many hats. They're launching something with passion, with history, right? That there's so much there that they are doing with, and this will so resonate. And all Neha's details will be in the show notes, and you can reach out to Neha from there. And with that, I am going to end this episode. Neha, thank you so much, so much for coming over.
Thank you. It's been awesome. I'm glad I've met you, and I'm glad we're doing this.
Yes.